more growing concerns, these about the banking industry. Stocks falling despite a rescue package for First Republic Bank as the former parent company of collapsed Silicon Valley Bank files for bankruptcy protection. ABC's Elizabeth Schulze is on the North Lawn of the White House with what President Biden is now asking Congress to do. Elizabeth, good morning.
Janae, good morning. The Biden administration and America's biggest banks have taken drastic steps to shore up the financial system, but there are still questions about if these moves are enough to prevent a bigger banking crisis. This morning, uncertainty for some regional banks as a cash lifeline for First Republic Bank fails to reassure investors. The company's stock plunging more than 30% in trading Friday, despite a $30 billion rescue package from 11 of America's biggest lenders.
The concern a lot of investors have is does that $30 billion solve the problem, or is that a temporary band-aid? And if it's a temporary band-aid, then what?
Wall Street is now on edge about the finances of other regional banks, with shares of PacWest, Western Alliance, and Comerica dropping Friday. The White House insisting extraordinary steps by the federal government to boost confidence in the banking system are working. And President Biden is now urging Congress to approve tougher penalties for executives of failed banks, including clawbacks for their compensation and stock sales, fines, and limitations preventing them from working at other banks.
We must get the full accounting of what happened and why those responsible can be held accountable.
1 week after Silicon Valley Bank collapsed, its parent company has now filed for bankruptcy. Government filings show Silicon Valley Bank CEO Greg Becker sold $3.6 million in stock through a trust just weeks before its failure. His lawyer saying in a statement that Becker conducted himself properly at all times. First Republic's executives also sold millions in stock in recent months, the bank not commenting on those sales. Overnight, Moody's became the latest credit agency to downgrade First Republic. Another wild card for banks is the Federal Reserve, which could now raise interest rates by less than expected next week to try to ease up the pressure on some of these banks. That could be good news if you are trying to take out a new mortgage or pay off your credit card debt. Whit?
All right, Elizabeth Schulze, thank you.
Hi everyone, Tourist Economics here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage.
Shalom, give all praise, Yahweh Shem Yahshua B'Shem Rakakadosh. Of honors that all listen apostles, men in truth on down regarding the truth of knowledge. And to Wadi Yahweh Shem Yahshua for putting the spirit of elders and apostles, men in truth on down regarding truth of knowledge. And so we know it's truth of knowledge, call holy Yahweh Shem Yahshua B'Shem Rakakadosh. Give all praise, Yahweh Shem Yahshua B'Shem Rakakadosh. Report relating to the parent company of SVB, which is Silicon Valley Bank, filing for bankruptcy. That was ABC report. Another report talking about cash-strapped banks borrowed up to about $300 billion. You know what I mean? Federal Reserve. Let me see if I can find that. There we go. Borrowed $300 billion from the Fed this past week. I was on a report I seen earlier today. The Guardian. A report out hearing about something possibly going the implementation by July this year. I believe related to that digital currency, possibly. I seen a report somewhere on video on YouTube talking about that. So yeah, cash-strapped banks borrow $300 billion. These banks have overhead. They got depositor creditors. Really, it's just another bailout, man. Quantitative easing, which is pretty much financial injection, printing money to bail out the bigger guys, man. You know, even though they ain't saying that, but that's what that is, man. or they would call it a backstop. A backstop is pretty much something that's reinforced so something don't completely collapse or fall down, man. And we seeing the precursors of these domino effects, as I stated, are falling, man. You know what I mean? One domino at a time, man. Let's get some scripture real quick. Get something short. A lot of news, man. I seen a report, Yahoo, a little off the topic, 800,000 people to enlist relating to, that was a Yahoo report talking about in North Korea to fight against the U.S., man. And they had a report that, here's a little bit right here, talking about a Korean missile that could reach U.S. They're doing this a mock drill of a missile hitting part of the U.S. in 33 minutes. Here we go here. So a lot of stuff going on, man. You know, pretty much a mock simulation or study relating to that. Knowing this, that in the last days perilous times shall come, man. 2 Timothy 3:1. We in perilous times, man. You're hearing all kinds of things from a financial aspect, from a military war, global or world or war aspect relating to these countries and nations, man. You know, hearing of wars, rumors of wars. So. Yeah, there was a report saying over 800,000, talking about enlisting relating to so they can fight in the war against the U.S. as in North Korea. Let's see if I can find out. So scripture talk about hearing of wars and rumors of wars. So now you're going to hear of wars and the gossip and rumors of it, but you're going to see it. You're going to eventually, you're seeing it with Ukraine and Russia, man, and these other proxy wars in these other countries, man. But the bigger wars, that's to come, man. It's not going to be just hearing of it. It's not going to be just rumors of it. It's going to be actual on site, man, related to that. Let me see. Here we go. North Korea says 800,000 people enlist to fight U.S. imperialists. There was one at Yahoo. Let me see if I can get the Yahoo one. There's one at Yahoo showing, North Korea says 800,000 you join military to wipe out U.S. and the Republic of I believe that's the Republic of South Korea. They mean, yeah, Republic of South Korea. So many are joining, relating to it. Could be propaganda or just them saying certain things. So you have the meat and bones with that as well, But articles are here. Let me see see. Y'all, let me see if I can see it on Yahoo. Yahoo. There we go. Yahoo News. They in precision, man. You know what I mean? One thing about the overseas military, man, they take it seriously what they do, man. So that's article there relating to that. Let's get some scripture real quick. Now relates to the economical aspect and talking about also the military aspect. Matthew 24. We'll get it from another version. GNT. Get that one quick. Number 6. You are going to hear the noise of battles close by and the noise of battles far away. So you're gonna ever goes to hearing of wars and rumors of wars, man. But do not be troubled. Be not troubled. Be not perplexed. Be not dismayed, or marvel not. Such things must happen, but they do not mean that the end has come. So these are part of the things that must play according to prophecy, man. You know, so all these things are part of prophecy that has to happen, man. Country will fight against each other. Kingdoms will attack one another. So you've seen countries fight one another. Ukraine, Russia, these other proxy countries, Israel, Iran, Syria, and these other countries. You know what I mean? Afghanistan and these other countries. You know, threats of relating to North Korea, South Korea, U.S., Taiwan, China, U.S. So you hear these major kingdoms possibly that rumors of fighting, hear rumors of fighting. You're actually seeing countries fighting as well. And kingdoms will attack one another. Powers are going to attack one another. There will be famines, which are shortages, precursors of that. Earthquakes everywhere. And you see earthquakes all over the world, man. From this country to various countries all over the world. All these are like the first pains of a child, which goes to birth pangs. That's what that is, birth pangs. All right. That was the GNT, which is the Good News Translation. Talk about the money scriptures. Proverbs 20. 22 and 7. Let me get it. I'll get this one here. Get another version. The rich ruleth over the poor. So the rich rule over the poor because what? They're in a position of power. The borrower is a servant, which is a slave. That's another word. Servant goes to slave to the lender, man. Let's get it from a GNT version. Poor people are slaves of the rich. So poor people, man, which are the commoners, man. They're slaves to the rich, man. Why? Rich are in a position of power, man. They control everything. The earth has been given to them, even to the hands of the wicked. Job 9 and 24. Borrow money and you are the lender's slave. So when you borrow money, you're the lender's slave, man. You're at the mercy of the lender, man. You know? Because they're in a position of power. They know you have to go to them for all once, man. Let me see. I'll read this here. If you plant the seeds of injustice, disaster will spring up. So whatever seeds you put in, if you put bad seeds, the outcome, whatever you use, for God is not mocked. For whatever man sow, he reaps. I'll get that, symbolically. So whatever you put into it, that's what you're going to get out of that. That's what that is. If you plant seeds of injustice, disaster will spring up. Your oppression of others will end. So whatever bad seeds, for example, of that, then the outcome is going to be bad, man. Let me get that Galatians 6 and 7. So you seeing bad things being sown forth, man, and the outcome of it is more bad things that's going to manifest, grow, and manifest, man. Galatians 6 chapters go to that. Be not deceived, God is not mocked. So the Lord is not mocked, man. Neither he's the author of confusion. For whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. So that's what's going to happen, man. Where you put into it, whatever you put into it, is what you're going to get out of it, man. Whether good or bad, man. Read the rest. And he that soweth to his flesh shall reap corruption. And he that soweth to the Spirit shall reap the life everlasting. So of the flesh is going to be of the flesh, and of the Spirit is going to be of the Spirit. Not the flesh. If you reap something, if you do something of the flesh, and Spirit comes, or if you do something of the Spirit, that flesh comes, man. No, it's equal, man. Whatever, if it's of the flesh, then it's going to reap of the flesh, and whatever of the Spirit is going to reap of the Spirit. For he that soweth to his flesh shall of the flesh reap corruption, man. So if you of the flesh, or do of the flesh is going to be what it is. But he that soweth to the Spirit shall the Spirit reap everlasting. It's all go to what you put into it, man. And number 9, and let us not be weary in well-doing, in good doing, and in due season we shall reap and not faint. So and ultimately, those who endure to the end, the same shall be saved. So ones who endure, Lord willing, they're going to benefit through enduring that. That's what that is. I just went to that scripture, for example. I'm going back to 22 and 7. Talk about, I was reading GNT. So the poor people are slaves of the rich, man. So the poor people are slaves, man, of the rich. And the rich handsomely benefit, man. They borrow money, and you are the lender's slave, man. So you're a servant of that lender, man. As scripture says, man. The rich rules over the poor, and the borrower is a servant to the lender. 18 and 23. Get that real quick. I'm going to GNT first. That says, when the poor speak, they have to be polite. So when the poor speak, they have to be polite. They have to mind their manners, man. But when the rich answer, they are rude. And that rude goes to offensive, derogatory, harsh, you know what I mean? And why the rich answer roughly? Because they're in a position of power. You know, they don't have to respect you, man. The scripture talks about Proverbs 18 and 23, the poor uses entreaties, but the rich answer roughly. That's the KJV. So those entreaties are to things that the poor has to beg and beseech to the rich, man. And the rich answer roughly. And that goes to being disrespectful, being rude, disrespectful. Because they're in a position of power. They know the poor needs them for all need, all want. So they don't have to respect them, man. So the borrower is a servant to the lender. The borrower, man, that's the commoners. They are servant to the lender, which is the ones in power, man. I'll get one more. I'll go to KJV 1 first. Let me see. I'm gonna start at number 6. But godliness with contentment is great gain. So being content with what you have, man. That's, you know. For we brought nothing into this world, and it is certain we cannot carry nothing out. So we came in empty, we going out that way. And having food and raiment, let us be therewith content. So be content with basically the essentials, man. Food, water, clothing, shelter. But they that will be rich fall into temptation. So sometimes money can be a snare, man. Riches can be a snare, you know. But they that will be rich fall into temptation and a snare. You know, that snare goes to the trap, into foolish and hurtful lust, man. Which drown men in destruction and perdition. Perdition is destruction, man. So money is a defense, man. You know what I mean? As it states, it's something to use. But you know, when relating to the next scripture, and it can be a temptation, a snare for a lot of people, man. You know, so it's a balance with that. So rich gonna fall in snares, man, and many foolish and hurtful lusts, which drown men to their destruction and perdition, man. So money can be ultimately a snare in the trap and even their own destruction for certain people, man. For the love of money is the root of all evil. So the love of money, loving, covetous, and having a desire relating to money, man, is evil, man. Money is a tool for its purpose. We need money. We all need money so we can function and operate in society, man. But when it becomes excessive, or it becomes where you have to have it or need it, or covetous after excessive wanting, that's evil, man. For the love of money, which is that love of money, where that goes to the covetousness, is the root of all evil, man. Which while some covet after, they have erred from their faith, man. They erred from, you know, they took them off the course of direction, man. They erred off the faith relating to the truth and knowledge, and it's taken them off their direction, their purpose and course, man. And pierced themselves through with many sorrows, man. That goes to the perdition and destruction, man. So much sorrows because of that, man. We'll get it from a GNT. Scripture talks about woe to you rich men, you know. James 5 and 5:1 on down, man. You know what I mean? Get it from a GNT. See what it says. Well, religion does not make us very rich if we are satisfied with what we have. So being content. That's that godly contentment, man. Being content with what you have. What did we bring into the world? Nothing. We can, let's see, what can we take out of this world? Nothing, man. So then if we have food and clothes, that should be enough for us. So the essentials, food, water, shelter, man. But those who want to get rich fall into temptation. Those who want to get rich, that's that chasing that bag, man. That's going to lead to a snare and a trap, ultimately, man. Especially if it's not checked correctly, man, in a matter of speaking. But those who want to get rich fall into temptation and caught in a trap, which is a snare, and of many foolish and harmful desires. It goes to the lust, man, which pull them down to ruin and destruction, which is perdition. For the love of money is the source of all kinds of evil. So that source goes to the root, man. The root, the principle, the chief, relating to all evils. And some have been so eager to have it that they wander away from the faith. So they allow those desires to take them off their course, man. And have broken their hearts, which are their minds, with many sorrows, man. So that's the consequences because of that. That goes to the covetousness, this excessive wanting of money. Money is a defense, a tool, man. That's all it is, man. So wisdom is better than strength, man. Wisdom is even better than money, man. So, I'm going to James. I'm going to go to the GNT. That was the GNT. This will be the last ones. This is a warning to you rich man. Woe to the rich man, man. This is GNT, good news. And now, you rich people, listen to me. Weep and wail over the miseries that are coming upon you. We'll read it again. And now, you rich people, that's a warning, you rich people, listen to me. Weep and wail, so mourn over the miseries that are coming upon you. And that's a warning to you rich people. Misery is going to come upon you, man. Your riches have rotten away. Your clothes have been eaten by moths. So moth-ridden, they have holes in it, man, just like your money, man. Your gold and silver are covered with rust. So it's pretty much tarnished, man. And this rust will be a witness against you and will eat you up, your flesh like fire. That ultimate flesh like fire relates to your destruction, man, to the rich, man, especially the ones in a position of power, ultimately, man. So this is going to be a testimony and witness against you, man. You know what I mean? Related to, as the scripture says, man. Number 4. You have piled up riches in the last days, which are now the latter times. You have not paid any wages to those who work in your fields, those who slave labor to help you get increasingly rich, man. Using specifically historically a certain group of people that helped build this country, for example, and having compensated them, man, for their laborious work, man. Let's read that again. And you have not paid any wages to those who work in your fields. Listen to their complaints. Their complaints is their cries, man. It's scripture talk about the righteous complain continually, man. They crying to the Lord where it reaches the heavens, Sabaoth, man. The cries of those who gather in your crops have reached the ears of the Lord, which is a slave to workers, man. The Lord Almighty. Your life here on earth have been full of luxury and pleasure. That's the ones that are rich, man. So the Lord is warning you, man. You know what I mean? And why your life has been full of luxury and pleasure, because the Lord allowed you to receive that luxury and pleasure. You know, He allowed you. The power has been given to you using the sword. This is your time to rule. So you're going to live in luxury and pleasure because the Lord allowed you to. You have made yourselves fat in the day of slaughter. The scripture talks about relating to that full luxury and pleasure. I shall sit a queen, I shall see no sorrow. That's in Revelations, man. So that's that pride, man. The scripture talks about pride have deceived thee, man. Go to Obadiah talking about that. You have condemned and murdered innocent people that did not resist you. So people that did not do nothing to you, you afflicted them. That's that perpetual hatred, man. And that's the same ones that help build your kingdom up historically, man, for example. So that's a warning that the Lord through the scriptures saying, James 5:1, to you rich people, man, because of your ways in which you have done historically upon a certain people. And now you're getting relating to the forms of the punishment relating to from a economical aspect that the Lord is afflicting upon the land, man. That's why you seeing the breakdown economically and financially, the woes relating to starting with the bankings and different things. So that's part of the curse that you're seeing related to economically, man. You know, and this is only going to be a continuing domino effect, man. It's going to continue to all fall down, man, in a matter of speaking. I hope this helps in some way. Shalakia. This is a few scriptures relating to that. I want to give all praise to Yahweh Shem Yoshua Bashem Rakakadas Zayah Wolf. Hope it helps, Shalom.